Hi guys. Today's lesson is for Thursday, December 17th. This is just in case we have an inclement weather day and I'm working from home, or maybe you or I have intermittent internet availability. You should be able to watch this video and complete the lesson at your convenience. Please make sure that all your assignments are submitted by the end of the day so that you can receive attendance. Let's get started. If you're looking for this activity, you can go to our ESL Read 180 page, click on Course Modules. Once in Course Modules, you want to scroll down to Week 17 Activities. Our Week 17 activities are posted in order. You should have already completed parts 1 and 2 of the Week 17 Real Book, pages 214, 215, 216, and 217. If you haven't completed parts 1 and 2, please go back and do that. For Wednesday, there is also an instructional video. Today, our instructional video will be able to be found here, or you might have found this in your email. You'll click here to find your document, or you can get it in your assignments folder in Google Drive. Once you're finished with today's activity, you will submit this, and that will count as your attendance for Thursday if we are under an inclement weather. So we're going to get started with a vocabulary. We should be on page 218 in the Real Book if you are using your book. That's going to look like this. So we'll be right here. I'm going to use the Google Slides to fill this out today, so please follow along as I do it. Our first word is rage. Rage. This is a verb, so it's an action that somebody does. Inspire is our second word. And we actually have seen this a little bit before. Inspire is also a verb, so it's something someone does, specifically to or for another person. Let's check out these definitions. As always, if working independently, you can use these links in blue to find those definitions. I'm going to use those today as well. So I'm going to start with rage. Rage, to continue to happen, often violently or intensely. Sometimes rage is used to describe our emotions. But in this instance, we're talking about something that is happening over time in a very strong and violent, sometimes hurtful way. What do you do when a storm rages outside? This week, we're having a raging snowstorm, hopefully. When a storm rages outside, I make sure to keep a flashlight nearby. Why would someone keep a flashlight nearby if a storm is raging? That's right. They're afraid the power might go out, so they're keeping a flashlight nearby. A raging storm suggests that the storm is very bad. Let's move on to inspire. Inspire, to encourage someone by making them feel like they can do something. When we talk about the word inspire, we often think about people we look up to, our parents, professional athletes, sometimes even teachers. Who is someone who inspires you to do your best? Please don't copy the answer. Please answer your sentence with a true statement of someone who inspires you. Again, that could be maybe a famous actress or actor, a musician, a professional athlete, a parent, maybe the president, maybe even a teacher. Here's my example sentence from the book. Someone who inspires me to do my best is my track coach because she always cheers me on. Again, try and answer this question with your own words. Now that we're done with the vocabulary, we'll move on to the reading. If you're using your Real Book, please turn to page 218 and 219. We'll be using the audio during this time, so follow along as you listen. You can always pause and replay it again if you need to. We will now conclude our reading of Dawn on D-Day. If you are using your real book, please turn to page 218 and 219. First, I will read in the black box on the picture. After the successes on June 6th, the Allies continued fighting back against the Nazis, and they retook Paris, France in August 1944. Paragraph 19. General Norman Dutch Coda was watching the men through binoculars from a boat offshore. At 51, Coda was the oldest soldier at Omaha. As a general, he was supposed to stay on the ship and radio in commands. But this was crisis time. Dutch tossed out the rules, grabbed a gun, and waded to shore. The men, stuck at the seawall, suddenly looked out to see this stocky man running across the beach. He was fearless, a soldier recalled. At the seawall, Coda inspired the men into action. He spoke these now famous words. Gentlemen, we are being killed on the beaches. Let us go inland and be killed. Soon the soldiers were picking up weapons on the beach, finding helmets, and cleaning the sand from their rifles. A rain of German bullets killed many, but Coda led the rest of the bluff. Finally, they could meet the enemy face to face. To finish reading, if you are using your real book, turn to page 219. Mission accomplished. Every minute, more Allied troops were storming up the cliff, and battles atop the cliffs now raged. Firing flamethrowers and hurling grenades, the Allies flushed the enemy out of bunkers and trenches. German soldiers were too busy defending themselves to fire on the beaches. By 1:30 p.m., U.S. troops were on their way to controlling Omaha Beach. About an hour before, Hitler had received word that the invasion at Normandy had been completely smashed. The report was very wrong. Time and again, Allied troops reached their limits and pushed beyond. Wounded soldiers kept on fighting, squads, even as they died. When night closed, victory belonged to the Allies, who had taken all 5 beaches and advanced up to 10 miles inland. They were freeing French towns, taking German prisoners, and tearing down Nazi flags. Now we will review our close reading questions. These can be found on page 219 in the real book. Our first question, what was the result of the D-Day invasion? If you go back to page 219 and read through the bottom, you will see what happened. This section is called Mission Accomplished. Summarize how this ended. What was the result? You can click pause and fill in your answer at this time. To check your answers, you can click the blue Check Answers box here. I'm going to go ahead and look at the real page. This is page 219 in your real book. Same question, what was the result of the D-Day? The sample answer is the result of the D-Day invasion was that the Allies gained control of all 5 beaches and retook French cities from the Germans. If your answer is very different from that, you might want to change it. If your answer is similar, there's no need to change it. Question number 2, reread paragraph 21. How does the word rain help you visualize the bullets? Sometimes words are used to create images in our mind. Let's go to paragraph 21 and look at how the word rain is used. Here on page 218, paragraph 21, we can read, a rain of German bullets killed many, but Coda led the rest up the bluff. Finally, they could meet the enemy face to face. If you recall from our reading on Wednesday, the Germans were on high ground. and the Allies were on the low ground, and the Germans were shooting down the cliff at them. If it's raining bullets, they're comparing the shooting to a rainstorm. So were there a lot of bullets or not a lot of bullets? You can pause the video right now and answer your question. To review your answer, you can look at the Check Answers button. Here's an example response. The word rain helps me visualize how many bullets were being fired. Just like raindrops, there were too many bullets to see each one. Your answer doesn't have to be exactly like that. It can be different. What did the word rain help you visualize? Let's return to question number 3. What does Patricia Brennan DeMuth, the author, mean when she says Allied troops reached their limits and pushed beyond? Let's take a look at that paragraph. We're going to look at paragraph 24. Time and again, Allied troops reached their limits and pushed beyond. Wounded soldiers kept on fighting. Officers led squads even as they died. So we have a sentence, they reached their limits and pushed beyond, and then the author follows up with 2 examples of that. Wounded soldiers kept on fighting. Officers led squads. What does it mean to reach your limit? A limit usually means that you can't go any further. What does it mean to push beyond? It means that you're at a barrier, but you push past that barrier. Summarize how the soldiers reached their limits and pushed beyond. You can pause the video now to fill in your answer. Let's take a moment to review the example response. DeMuth means that these soldiers accomplished feats they had never thought they could do. They were totally exhausted, but kept going. Now, I don't expect anyone to use a word like feat in their answer. Remember, these are supposed to be your answers. You don't have to copy them from the video. Once you're complete with part 3, you should submit your response. If this is an inclement weather day, to receive attendance, you must submit your work for each of your classes. If you have any questions, make sure you see me the first 10 minutes of class or send me an email.